Morning or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Naomi Suzanne from Naomi's Home Health. I was about to make myself a peppermint tea and I thought I'm going to show you how I make my own fresh peppermint tea. I don't like to use tea bags because the bag is often bleached and it has plastics in it. So I like to use loose leaf tea, but I do grow some herbs in my garden and I often just steep them fresh. So I've got some peppermint here. I'm going to make myself a peppermint tea. It's really good for the digestive system, great for putting oxygen in the body. So it's really good for mental clarity and things like that as well, but specifically really good for the digestive system. And we all need a bit of support with that, with what we put into our body. So I've got some boiling water here just in the saucepan. I don't know if you can see that. It's hard to do here. So I've just washed the mint. Now I do grow it in my garden because it's so easy to grow in the garden. Anything that grows in my garden has to be easy to grow. I haven't even taken it off the stalks or anything. I've just rinsed it and I'm just putting it in the boiling water. And I'm just going to let that boil for a little while. I have my cup with a strainer here so I can strain it out. But I also have some honey and I'm going to add a little bit of that to my tea because honey enhances not only the flavour, but the properties of whatever it is that you're having. So if you have a herbal tea, it's really great to have raw honey. This is from my local beekeeper. I don't ever use honey from the store. So yeah, I've got my peppermint in here boiling. I'll let that boil for usually, 5 minutes and then I add my honey to it. But you don't need to dry out the leaves to actually make a tea. You can actually have it just straight from the garden. I've got lemon balm in there as well. Lemon balm is really good for the nervous system. So if you suffer a little bit with nerve pain, anxiety, depression, lemon balm is great, but it's also a really powerful antiviral. So generally the reason that we have an autoimmune disease is because of the Epstein-Barr virus, and that stays in the liver. So even if you've had any other virus, it can harbour in the liver and cause issues down the track, not only, right now, but 10 years time, 20 years time, a stressful event can trigger that and out comes all these symptoms, which can be an autoimmune disease. So the Epstein-Barr virus, other viruses that are going around lately can be stuck in that liver, so we want to try and drive it out. So lemon balm is really good to kill off that viral load in your liver. Peppermint is going to help support the gut. So this is why I've chosen that today, and because I just felt like a peppermint tea. So if you feel like a certain tea, drink that because your body tells you, your intuition, your body tells you what you want. So often when I go to my tea cupboard and I open it up, I often find I'm just drawn to one tea. So I use that one because, when I was doing my healing processes, I drank specific tea according to what I needed at that time. But then I started to really sit with what it was that my body needed, because sometimes you can just start going, you read things and you're like, I need this, I need that, I need this. And you're just overloading your mind, your body, your emotions. It just becomes too much. So start listening to what your body's telling you and, just take it easy. I didn't take it easy at all. So I was like next level, off the charts with what I had to do next. So anyway, I'll show you. You can see it's a little bit greeny colour. I don't know if you can see. But that's all properties leaking out into the tea. You can also add peppermint mint to a lot of foods. I add it to salads all the time. Yeah, you can do it. I always add herbs as much as I can to salads and foods because they have really strong properties to help do what our body needs to heal. So they are very supportive to healing, especially like detoxing heavy metals and drawing things out of the liver and supporting gut health. So I'm going to add a little bit. I'd probably let this cool down a little bit before I add the honey, actually, because you don't want to destroy too many properties in the honey. But this has been going for a few minutes. I'm just going to turn it off. I don't know if you can see. I'm going to strain it out anyway, so you'll see it in my teacup, in my green minty teacup. So there, you can see it's a nice colour. That's my peppermint tea. Like I said, I don't use tea bags at all, just because of what's in the actual bag. I didn't realise that until someone sort of mentioned it to me. So that's why I'm letting you guys know that those tea bags can actually be full of things that we don't want to put into our body. So be very mindful. I keep a lot of my teas, you know, this is my raspberry leaf tea. I have another one here. I keep them in jars. I've got my licorice root in a jar, my chai tea in a jar. I have a little tea strainer, which I don't love using the metal tea strainers at all, but they're not actually, you know, going into your body. So I'm going to add a little bit of my honey. Now this honey, I've got a little, I add a drop of peppermint and a drop of frankincense. They also enhance the properties of the honey and whatever else you're using. So it's just a little bit of honey to sweeten it up. It's pretty hot. Smells so good. There you go. A lovely, fresh peppermint tea. The peppermint is organic because it's from my garden. And like I said, peppermint is really easy to grow. It will actually go wild through your garden. So maybe put it in a pot if you don't want it all through your garden. It grows, like parsley is really easy to grow as well. So if you can at least have 2 herbs in your garden, mint and parsley, if you're not a great green thumb like me, I'm pretty terrible at it, in fact. But I can grow oregano, rosemary, mint, parsley, chives. They're all pretty self-sufficient, so they grow well in my garden. But make sure you do grow some kind of herb that you can add. And if you don't love fresh herbs, it's generally, it will take you time, but you will start to like them. You will start to enjoy them. If you just add a little bit to your salad, you won't notice it, and just add a little bit more and a little bit more. And all of a sudden you'll start to really enjoy having fresh herbs with your food.